Yo, what it do, guys? It's the end of the week, so I thought it would be appropriate to just kind of go over how the week turned out. And I think the last time I updated you guys is when I had that bigger day on Wednesday. And so I just wanted to provide a quick update for Thursday and Friday. So after that big day on Wednesday, I was able to take it slow and just really cut the trading day short. Just because in the past, every time I would have a big day, you would just normally be full of euphoria still. And so there were a couple of times in the past where like I was either overconfident, I was just taking too much risk, I was just being completely stupid. The day after a big win, I remember the last time I had a big win. I think it was the last time that Nvidia had this earnings. I think that day I netted around $4,000 on that day, and then the earnings before that is where I netted like $3,000. I actually netted $6,000, but then during that session, I ended up netting $3,000. I kind of gave back half the profits. And so the following days, the following week, just the rest of the week, I actually just ended up blowing it all, giving it all back. So after that happened, after the Nvidia day, I definitely learned my lesson on it. The second earnings for Nvidia, which is the last one. That one lasted a little bit longer, but then I slowly just ended up giving it all back. And so this time around, I wanted to be sure that I take things slow. And also that's why on this particular day, I just kind of did my 750 and I locked myself out. It just kind of gets a little frustrating because this was an example of a day where I did exactly that. And then I was just kind of looking at how New York turned out the day after, or like the New York session after, because I finished right here. So you look, I finished like around 8 o'clock and Pacific Standard Time. So then when New York came around, I was already locked out. And so when I had looked at the market, I was like, dude, like it was just like the cleanest setup that you could possibly imagine. And I was just like kicking myself in the foot for missing out on it. I think it would have been like another $2,500 or something if I had just not lock myself out and actually look to see if there was any opportunities come 7 o'clock and more for New York session. But it is what it is. I mean, it's typical for the market to do some shit like that, where it's like you finally, you stay disciplined and then you follow your rules, and then you look at what happens and you're like, oh shit, I just fucking missed out on hella money. But it is what it is. And then the days that like you don't follow your plan, right? Or like the days that you're not disciplined, you break your rules and you do something, like the market doesn't really give you a really nice setup, but you just fucking, you just fumble by making a stupid ass mistake or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's always, the market gets you one way or another. But anyway, yeah, so that's what happened on this day on Thursday. And then today on Friday, it was just a really bad day for me, man. I just got chopped the fuck up today. And I pretty much just got cleaned out during London, Asia, London. Pretty much just got cleared out. I'll show you guys right now where exactly I got rocked. It was just pretty much throughout like the open. Oh, right here. It was just pretty much throughout the open of Asia all the way through. I just got rocked. Like this whole mess right here, I just got right here, right at like 7 o'clock ish. I was like at first I was trying to go long, so I was going long here and then just got wrecked. It's going long, got wrecked, and then I think like here I tried to go short because I thought that this was some sort of like area or zone, right? It was resistance, became support, and now broke down because it stopped me out, right? So it broke down, and then I was trying to see, and I saw this big bearish candle, so I thought it was gonna break through here, but then I got rocked here. So yeah, that was it. That was pretty much it in short, and so didn't even get a chance to partake. I mean, I wouldn't even have wanted to partake in this issue right here, or in this this volume here. I mean, this is just straight chop, right? Sideways action. So I'm not even too mad at it. And just in general, I mean, even just looking at New York session for the whole day, I mean, it was just something that I not really wanted to have traded anyway, thank goodness. It's just not a trendy market, and you know, it's just not the best for how I typically trade. So I'm cool with that. I'm not really too happy. I'm not really too angry about missing the session. The one thing that I am pretty upset about though is just kind of how I performed. I think I even put some notes on how I performed and how I was upset at myself. You know, I'm not even, you know, I don't get mad at the situations where, you know, like I miss, well, I mean, it's upsetting if when you miss, you know, certain trades, but, you know, I don't really get mad at, like, for example, hitting DLL or whatever. Like, as long as I did what I was supposed to do that day, if I followed my rules, if I, you know, did all the, you know, I only entered at those specific areas where I'm supposed to enter, like, for example, 4-hour zones. But that wasn't the case. You know, I literally just dropped the ball, right? Just some of my notes that I wrote in here. Got caught up in the chop, failed to recognize sideways movement. Like, for me, as a kind of a note to myself, like, the minute that I feel like it's, or the minute that I see that it's going sideways, I need to just literally just stop. You know, I literally just need to just take myself out the market and just kind of reassess what's going on. And so I was writing here, I was too fixated on the fact that there was a possibility for longs as price could retest the beginning of the massive 600 tick drop. Okay, so I was basically thinking that price was going to potentially get back to the level that it was going to, or that it broke down from. I thought it was going to retest that area, so that's why I had this kind of bias to go long. I think it was like this particular area right here. I thought it was going to retest this area, which it never did. So that's why I was fixated on longs. And then there were just certain points in times where, you know, the longs were getting wrecked. So then I went ahead and took shorts. And so you know, that's kind of how that ended up. Let's just take a look and see what else I put in here. Could retest the beginning of the tick drop. I also got tricked into taking shorts when the short-term uptrend would break. I mentioned that early. Oh yeah, okay, so that was my main thing here. I didn't follow my rule of only entering at the 4H zones. But even though, I mean, there was a 4H zone there that got kind of broke, but it immediately just became a liquidity sweep and just kind of like it tapped it, and then it just bounced back up. So I'm glad that I didn't get into that as well. But I mean, there was opportunity there, like if I had just kind of short at the top, but again, that's kind of in hindsight. But anyway, yeah, I'm not, and I also mentioned here that, you know, I'm not really going to focus on it, but there was a lot of poor execution. Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, there was a lot of times where I was just kind of bargaining into the order, and it was immediately like going like 3 ticks against me, like immediately. And so lately, I've just, since I went back to trading the full minis, you know, I've been very tight with my stops. And so, you know, every 3 tick, you know, sloppy, poor execution, just, it really matters, right? So I was getting, you know, clapped that way. And then also my stops and also my limits. Like it got to the point where I was doing like limit orders for entries. And then even those were getting like slippage, like three tick slippage. And so I thought that was very frustrating. And even my stop losses, like those were getting, I mean, it was like 6, I think I wrote it down here. Limit orders getting filled 3 ticks worse. Stop orders getting filled 6 ticks worse. So yeah, man, it was like, dude, like I put my stop at break even for like, let's say, you know, $15 profit. And then when it gets filled, it's like negative $15. Like what the fuck? That's 6 ticks right there. Like, so anyway, there was just a lot of frustration in that. But anyway, one thing I wanted to just kind of take a note of myself as well, like, you know, the next time I hit like 50% daily loss limit, I need to really just kind of stop, take a break, and reassess what's going on with the scenario, and, you know, confirm that I am following my rules, or I am entering where I'm supposed to. And so that's just kind of one of the things that I really need to work on. And so, you know, I think now that I'm trying to be extra careful with this account, that I will remember to be able to do those things. Yeah, and it was just saying how, like, if I had just stuck to the 4 zones, I would have avoided all that chop. I think there was a point in time where I kind of wrote this and then I didn't write this at a later, not enough time, because if you had looked looked at it, I mean, the whole shit was fucking chop anyway. It's all pretty good. It's all good. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it, the wrap up for the week. So I was looking at about 4,400 on the week. I mean, honestly, this was actually supposed to be 4,500 because there was fucking Topstep had a glitch where like for a moment in time there was like, they called it unrealistic entries and unrealistic exits or some shit like that, and then like they pretty much erased all the trades during that time frame, whether it was profit or a loss. Unfortunately for me, during that time I had a $100 gain, it appears, because I remember I had closed that at 750 on the day, so it wiped out $100 of it. So anyway, it's all good. But yeah, I mean, I'm really happy for the week. Still 4,400. Definitely looking to build on the momentum here, and really just be more careful. And also, one thing I did as well is I actually adjusted my daily loss limit. I actually reduced my daily loss limit to 750. So normally it's 1,000 for this account size, and so I went ahead and lowered it to 750. I just realized, like, this past week, like, I really hate the fact that when I take an L on a day, it's more than what I usually gain, right? So lately I've been targeting 750, right? 750. And then for me to take a loss of 1,000, it's just kind of really, it just sucks mentally. I don't like seeing this, you know what I'm saying? Like up 750, then down 1,000. Like, I fucking hate that shit. So, I lowered it to 750, in hopes of, at least worst case scenario, I'm down the same amount. So I'm just kind of flat. Granted that I'm up on the previous day. And so hopefully that's one way for me to just kind of refrain from taking unnecessary trades and really try to limit myself to, more higher probability trades and, higher confluences for my particular strategy. And so, hopefully that's going to help me. I'll be honest with you, like I've actually tried doing this in the past, and it was tough, man. Like right before I hit daily loss limit, I just fucking readjusted back to 1,000. It's really tough, but like this time around, I'm really gonna fucking stick to it. I'm really just gonna buckle down and accept it. It is what it is. If I fucking hit daily loss limit early, then fuck it. That's for me to fucking deal with and accept. Yeah, man, it's just painful to go back and see $1,000 losses when some of your regular days are averaging 750 or less in this case. So that's one adjustment that I do want to make for the next coming week. But also I wanted to say as well is, I'm actually, it's the market is super volatile right now, right? I mean, the VIX that it hasn't been at for a long time, right? I think, let's take a look. How do I freaking change this shit? Oh, here you go. Share this tab instead. Okay. So yeah, you can take a look at the VIX, right? I mean, look, the VIX is high, 23.3. It's a lot higher than it was in the past 4 months. I mean, it was kind of up there actually in April, but it broke out of that kind of that resistance, right? 21, now we're at 23. So it broke through. So it's high, right? Meaning that we're going to get, hopefully we get more, we keep the volatility or we get more volatility. Well, one thing I wanted to just kind of mention to that is that like when this shit happens, like, I mean, look at that, look at COVID. Like COVID, man, this is crazy. Like I remember trading this market and it was just fucking nuts, man. Like during that time, I was actually just trading my live account, like just straight my TradeAvate account. And it was crazy, man. This is when like the Dow Jones was moving like 1,000 points in a day type shit. And NASDAQ, I don't remember exactly how many points NASDAQ was moving, but all I remember is that I would fucking just fucking go fucking 4 contracts, 5 contracts, 10 contracts deep. I think at one point I don't know exactly how much. I have screenshots on my Instagram, but I remember I was just, like, the market, if the market wanted to fall that day, the market was falling. Like you would literally can just fucking add contracts, just like take maybe like start with maybe like 2 or 3. And then like when you see a fucking dump, it would just dump, you know what I'm saying? And then like it was just crazy. Like it was a crazy amount of time, or it was a crazy time. But anyway, when the volatility is high, that's when those opportunities come, right? And so this is definitely one of those times where when your skill set is at that level where you can capitalize on these markets, like it's a great time to trade, especially when you've traded it before, these types of markets, and you know what you're doing, and you're a little bit more seasoned, and you have a little bit more expertise, and you've seen it before, and you're not as freaked out about it or whatever, and you know how to control it, and you know what you're doing. So it's definitely an interesting time to be trading. Yeah, that was by far the craziest. But yeah, I mean, look at this. Like, man, we got the VIX in the 20s. So, hopefully we continue to have the same type of volatility. I mean, even when the VIX goes down, it's completely fine, right? Because then you can just go ahead and just go long, right? Right? Obviously, everybody knows the correlation, right? When the VIX is high, the market is tanking, right? And when the VIX is down, then the market is up, right? So obviously, when the VIX is down, you're taking longs. So, it's a great time to be trading. So anyway, one thing I also wanted to mention was that, I got inspired today. I was actually just kind of with the whole thing about the whole, the volatility in the market, and then me having this big day in the week, inspiring that, we have these opportunities right now. In the spirit of that, I went into the Topstep Discord, and one of my favorite rooms in the Discord is actually the paid out traders room. And the reason why I like this room is because this is the room where you have all the top traders, right? All the traders that have already been paid out, right? I'm not sponsored by Topstep by any means. I'm not an affiliate partner or anything like that. I'm just literally just talking from, sharing my experiences with you guys, right? Just kind of in the spirit of like, okay, I had a big day this week. I think for that particular trade that I had, I did this with two contracts. Okay, so roughly about $2,500 per contract, right? Is what I did, right? I earned $2,500 per contract. So I only had two contracts. So $5,000, which is about $2,500. And so normally I'm targeting around 1,500 max. Typically, if I have one contract in, I'm usually wanting to be out by 1,500. Very rarely will I target anything higher, right? The only reason why I was able to do it this day is because I had some really strong conviction on that double bottom, and I knew that, man, and plus with the volatility in the marketplace, like I knew that there was potential for it to get there, right? And eventually it did, right, during New York. And so, kind of with that, with the spirit of that, and with the spirit of continuing to stay inspired with what's going on in the marketplace. So I went into one of these chat rooms today, and these are the guys that are all paid out, right? You can only have access to this room if you've been paid out. So you can see that it's all green, right? All the guys in here are all green, right? And so today I was chatting with this guy today, which was pretty cool. This guy right here, LOL. Shout out to LOL. He's a cool dude. So he was sharing with me. So, like during this week, I was like, I thought I was pretty hot shit, right? I was like, dude, I fucking closed the trade for $2,500 per contract. So I was like, I feel like I did some G shit this week, right? So I go in here and I get fucking humbled hella quick. You know what I mean? And so I get humbled real quick. So this guy, LOL, right here, he shows this trade. And then, so LOL, he actually just received funded his live funded account. So congrats to him. Where he basically, so with Topstep, once you earn 50,000 in your account, including your payouts, you automatically get transferred into a live account, which is not a sim account anymore, and it's actually a live account. And so, Topstep, they frame it as like, this is the highest level that you can achieve in Topstep, and everybody wants to do it, and they frame it that way. So a lot of these guys, or a lot of people, strive for it to be able to be part of that elite group. And so, it's it's a great way to go about it, right? From a business sense, and just kind of from from a community sense. But anyway, so I go into this room, right, just to look for inspiration, and me thinking I'm hot shit today for doing 2,500 per contract. I meet this dude, LOL. Well, not meet, but I chat with this dude, LOL, and he shares with this screenshot. I don't think you guys can see it, but anyway, he shares a screenshot of doing 4 contracts with a target profit of about close to 28,000, right? That hit, right? And I was like, damn, that's fucking awesome, right? And so basically this trade equates to about $7,000 per contract, because he has 4, right? So 28 divided by 4 is 7. So immediately I'm like humbled, like, dude, like, you think you're shit for 2,500? Dude, this dude just did 7,000. And I'm just like, damn, just when you think like you leveled up in a certain way, the universe always has a way to be like, yeah, you did well, but dude, like, you could have done even better type shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just kind of took it as like the universe reminding me or humbling me, like, yeah, you did all right, but yo, you could have done better. So I take that as inspiration, right? Because like, look, he did that in his Express account, 4 contracts, 28,000. So yeah, dude, like, I guess maybe, I mean, call me a competitive guy, right? Maybe it's my just competitive nature, but I love and I enjoy, like, chatting with people like this, seeing people that are more successful, seeing people that are killing it, doing the things that I want to do, you know what I'm saying? And why I value this chat so much is because these guys are all here for that. All these guys with the teal, they're live account traders. So meaning that they're not fucking around. Like, all these guys, like, they have generated at least 50 grand in their accounts, or they've been paid out at minimum 50,000. You know what I'm saying? So out of all the traders in Topstep, like, these are the guys, these are the it guys, you know what I'm saying? So being able to come in here and just chop it up with them and chat with them, dude, like, that's awesome. Like, if you're really about like your self-development and picking people's brains that are hella, successful already at the things that you want to do, like, this is the spot for that shit. You know what I mean? So that's one experience that I just kind of wanted to share. And to be honest with you guys, like, I knew this chat was always here, and I just, for some reason, and I've always wanted to just associate myself with like people that are a lot more successful and pick their brains if I have the chance to, but I just never, for some stupid reason, I just never went in here and chatted. But anyway, today I was able to chat with this dude, right? So he showed us his screenshot, and then it just turns out, like, this guy trades exactly the time frames that I trade. He trades exactly the time frames that I trade. He trades exactly the type of hours that I trade, right? Like, I mean, you guys know this. You guys know this from seeing my videos. I always trade Asia to London, right? And this is exactly what I do from 10 to 12, right? So it's like roughly from like, I mean, I look at it at like 4:30 or so. And earlier this week, I did take some trades like around 4:30. But then typically I start to look at it like around 7 o'clock. That's because that's where the 4-hour candle closes, and so that's where I like to base my trade off the 4-hour candle, and you guys know that. So yeah, he trades exactly like I trade. Like, he's a swing trader, 10 to 12 hours. So like for me, right, from that 7 p.m. till like New York open, right, pre-market. So I always like to exit before New York. So that's pretty much around the same time amount of hours, right, from 7 to 7. Right. So yeah, he does exactly the same things that I do, and the same everything. And so like, I was actually in the same trade. I just didn't hold as long as he did. But yeah, dude, I mean, like, to me, like, I don't know, that's not only is it inspiration, but it's kind of like, for me, it's like, dude, like, the universe is, I don't know, call me weird or whatever, but like, I really believe in this whole, like, the universe is a real thing, and manifestation, and becoming your higher self. And so I think that the universe definitely does its thing to give you hints and to give you glimpses of what you could be and things like that. And it sends you like messages and signs and shit like that. And so for me, I just took this as like, fuck, like, I should be fucking bagging this type of fucking trade, you know what I mean? And so anyway, this is so he was just chatting about it, and he was saying how, like, he only did it in 24 days. Damn. And I'm like, shit, dude, like, I asked him, I was like, also, this is your first XFA? He's like, no, it's not. It's my third. And I'm like, damn, I'm on my 27th. And I'm just like, fuck. I'm just straight humble, dude. And then he's like, what did he say? Yeah, he's cool. You'll get there. And then I'm just like, thanks, bro. Blah, 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 blah. And then what else? And I think I started asking questions about the trade. Okay, so this is the trade you opened during London and held through the New York Open. Opened during Asia. Okay, so similar type of strategy. That's exactly what I did. And I was telling him, like, that's really my preferred time frame as well, right? Which is true. You guys know this. Late Asia up to New York pre-market. Who reacted to this? Oh, that was him. Late Asia up to pre-market, especially when we get a solid trend day. I think it was a similar trade, and that's why I told him that blah, 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 blah. And then he was saying, yeah, and I was telling him, like, dude, that's the sweet spot, because that's where that 4H candle is about to close, and that's where you really get that direction, right, of where the market's going. And I think his type of strategy is kind of similar to that, so that was pretty cool. And then, yeah, so I was telling him, I was like, yo, that's who did this? Oh, nice. Yeah, right. That trade netted around 7K per contract. So this is his trade, right? 7K per contract. And I was like, that's wild. The most I netted was 2,500 earlier this week. And I thought I was already crazy for targeting that. Now I'm inspired. And that's the truth, guys. Like, I was fucking inspired just by this little interaction. I was just like, whoa, like, now, honestly, like, obviously you have to take into context, right? You can only take this type of trade when the VIX is high like this, when the market is fucking high volatility, right? Only during those times is when this type of trade can be possible, right? Not during the past couple of months that we had, right? May through until now, this shit was not possible, right? You're not gonna bag a 300-point move, in this type of VIX, market condition. Only in these scenarios right here, 18s, the 20s, right? Only in those scenarios will you be able to bag this type of trade. So anyway, like, this whole interaction was just kind of inspiration for me, because now that I've kind of accumulated some experience within the past 3 years of this type of market, and then plus now that I'm finally in a express account with some buffer, I've been able to do some decent work this week, and now I'm kind of inspired by being able to interact with these people. And so it just kind of ended my week pretty well, and so I think that this is a good start to a weekend where I have some good time to kind of reflect on the week, set up my game plan for the following week, so that I can maximize the most out of this high volatility type of market that we currently have, and really just kind of double check my my scenarios and the trading plan for next week, and really set myself up for success next week. So I think, especially when these markets present themselves, you really just kind of have to go for the gusto. And so, and at the same time, I want to be careful as well, right? I want to be careful. I want to be, I want to make sure that I have buffer before I take on larger trades. But, again, I'm inspired, but at the same time, I want to be careful, and I want to really be sure that I'm prepared to take on, those larger trades if they do present themselves. This shit is possible, right? It's possible to have, large trades, because we're in the market to see those type of trades, right? But again, that doesn't mean to not be prepared for it in terms of like having an appropriate amount of buffer before taking on those trades. Because again, I'm only in a 50K account, right? My daily loss limit is only 1,000, so I need to at least have like a couple. Ideally, a couple grand worth of profit on the day for me to take a full-blown 5-contract trade with potential to go 150 points or some shit. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's on my mind. Not to say that I'm gonna go for it or like trade like crazy to get there. I'm definitely revamping like my whole outlook on it. The choppiness that I experienced today on Friday, like, I'm gonna definitely be more careful. But I do know that once I am able to build that buffer on Monday, I will be ready, or maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday, I will be patient and I will be ready. Look for those opportunities where I can capitalize and potentially bag, a fat W for the day. So, yeah, that's pretty much my outlook for the coming week, guys, and kind of like just my reflection on the week, and just kind of wanted to share those experiences with you guys. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just trying to see if there's anything else I wanted to share. Yeah, that was really it, guys. So thanks a lot for tapping in with me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will check up with you guys next week on the charts. All right, peace.